Batman Caped Crusader Season 2 takes a very different approach from many previous Batman stories. Instead of focusing on massive action sequences or a city threatened by spectacular destruction, the season explores a slower and far more unsettling kind of danger. The Joker is not trying to conquer Gotham through fear alone. He wants to reshape the city from the inside by destroying the systems that allow it to function. By the ending, Gotham is left scarred, Batman is forced to rethink how he fights crime, and the people closest to him become more important than ever before. One of the biggest surprises this season is the portrayal of the Joker himself. Rather than presenting him as an unpredictable performer obsessed with elaborate public spectacles, the series turns him into a patient and calculating chemist. Every move is carefully planned, and every attack is designed to weaken Gotham over time instead of creating immediate chaos. His weapon of choice is a deadly laughing gas that spreads panic while stripping away people's ability to think rationally. Instead of launching one massive assault, the Joker deploys the chemical in carefully selected locations across Gotham. Each attack weakens public confidence, overwhelms emergency services, and slowly erodes the city's institutions. This strategy is what makes the Joker so dangerous in the finale. Batman has spent years preparing to fight gangsters, corrupt politicians, and costumed criminals. Those enemies could usually be stopped by identifying their headquarters, defeating their followers, or exposing their crimes. The Joker changes the rules completely because his greatest weapon is not physical strength. It is psychological warfare combined with scientific precision. As the season progresses, Gotham begins collapsing under the weight of fear, mistrust, and biochemical attacks. Hospitals become overwhelmed, law enforcement struggles to respond, and ordinary citizens begin losing faith that anyone can restore order. The Joker understands that once institutions stop functioning, people become easier to manipulate. Another major storyline throughout the season involves Rupert Thorne. Following the previous season, Batman remains determined to bring Thorne and his criminal empire to justice. Eventually, Thorne and his allies, including Edward Nygma, are finally brought down. At first, this appears to be a major victory for Gotham. However, the finale reveals that removing Thorne creates an entirely different problem. The Joker personally executes Thorne, eliminating one of Gotham's most powerful crime bosses. This moment is significant because Thorne represents the old criminal order. His empire depends on money, political influence, bribery, and organized crime. While dangerous, those systems still follow recognizable rules that Batman and Commissioner Gordon understand. The Joker has no interest in controlling Gotham through those traditional methods. By killing Thorne himself, he destroys the old balance of power and creates a vacuum that nobody is prepared to fill. Criminal organizations lose their leadership, law enforcement faces new threats it cannot predict, and Gotham enters an era where chaos replaces organized corruption. The finale suggests that the Joker is even more dangerous than the mob because he is not motivated by wealth or political influence. He wants complete psychological control over an entire city. Bruce Wayne also undergoes one of his most important character developments during the season. Normally, Batman believes he can solve almost every problem through preparation, intelligence, and personal determination. This season repeatedly proves those strengths alone are not enough. Facing the Joker forces Bruce to rely far more heavily on the people around him. Commissioner Jim Gordon becomes an essential partner rather than simply a police contact. Renee Montoya plays a critical role in investigating the Joker's growing network, while Barbara helps strengthen Gotham's efforts to recover from the spreading crisis. Instead of presenting Batman as a lone hero who always has every answer, the season emphasizes that protecting Gotham requires cooperation. Every member of the team contributes something Batman cannot accomplish alone. The most emotional moment of the finale centers on Alfred. After being exposed to the Joker's laughing gas, Alfred temporarily loses control of himself and nearly kills both Bruce and himself. It is one of the most painful scenes in the season because Alfred has always represented stability, wisdom, and unconditional loyalty. Watching him transformed into an unwilling threat demonstrates just how devastating the Joker's chemical attacks have become. The scene also produces one of the season's most meaningful emotional moments. As Bruce struggles to reach him, he calls him Alfred instead of Pennyworth. On the surface, this may sound like a small detail, but it carries enormous emotional significance. Bruce often uses Pennyworth as a way of maintaining emotional distance, treating Alfred as both a trusted butler and professional guardian. Calling him Alfred instead reflects something much deeper. For perhaps the first time in the series, Bruce lowers the emotional barriers he normally keeps around himself. Instead of speaking as Batman or as a wealthy employer, he speaks to the person who has been his family for most of his life. It is a quiet but powerful reminder that beneath the mask, Bruce Wayne still desperately values the people closest to him. That emotional breakthrough becomes one of the defining themes of the ending. Throughout the season, Batman learns that victory is not simply about defeating villains. It is also about trusting others enough to share the burden of protecting Gotham. The final rooftop scene beautifully captures this message. Batman stands alongside Alfred, Commissioner Gordon, Renee Montoya, and Barbara as they look out across a city that has suffered tremendous damage but has not been completely defeated. Although the Joker succeeds in pushing Gotham closer to collapse than ever before, he does not destroy its spirit. Instead of celebrating a complete victory, the group quietly commits themselves to rebuilding everything the city has lost. That ending is intentionally hopeful without pretending every problem has been solved. The laughing gas may no longer dominate Gotham, but the damage left behind cannot disappear overnight. Public trust must be rebuilt, institutions need to recover, and the city's people must once again believe that justice is possible. The rooftop gathering symbolizes something Gotham has often struggled to achieve: unity. Rather than relying on a single hero, the city's future now depends on a network of people working together. Batman remains the symbol standing in the shadows, but Gordon represents law and order, Montoya represents determined investigation, Barbara brings intelligence and compassion, and Alfred continues serving as Bruce's moral foundation. Each person fills a role that strengthens the others. Looking ahead, the ending also suggests an important change in Batman's own philosophy. Earlier in the series, Bruce often carried the weight of Gotham entirely on his own shoulders. The events of Season 2 force him to recognize that even Batman has limits. Against enemies like the Joker, whose attacks target minds rather than muscles, teamwork becomes every bit as important as physical strength. The Joker's campaign, therefore, changes Gotham in two lasting ways. First, he proves that destroying institutions can be even more effective than defeating individual heroes. Second, he unintentionally creates a stronger alliance among the people committed to protecting the city. That irony gives the ending much of its emotional impact. The Joker succeeds in exposing Gotham's weaknesses, but in doing so he also pushes Batman, Gordon, Alfred, Renee, and Barbara closer together than ever before. Batman Caped Crusader Season 2 delivers an ending that feels both satisfying and filled with possibility. Rupert Thorne's death marks the end of Gotham's old criminal order. The Joker demonstrates that intelligence and psychological manipulation can be more terrifying than brute force, and Bruce Wayne finally allows himself to rely on the people who have always stood beside him. As the team looks across Gotham from the rooftop, the message is clear. The city has survived one of its darkest chapters, but rebuilding it will require more than Batman alone. It will require trust, resilience, and a united effort to ensure that Gotham's future is stronger than the fear that nearly consumed it.